Alright, so boom. The jujitsu system, alright, so boom. We all know that it's easy to get caught up with the law. And we know it's hard to get out. These are some instances where they got caught up, probably at the right place, but definitely at the wrong time, because they got the wrong person. These are innocent people who are convicted, and their reactions to being set free. Now, I'm just curious in the video because how long did it take before, you feel me, they were set free? How many people, like, it's a 16-minute video, so like how many people were wrongfully convicted of crimes that they had nothing to do with? And what were those crimes and how severe were they? So my curiosity brought me here, and I just thought, might as well watch it with y'all. So let's tap in.
This first case is a wild one. Richard Jones spent 17 years in jail for a robbery he...
Starting off with 17 years is absolutely crazy. I'm not even going front.
...didn't commit. However, every eyewitness to the crime confirmed him as the suspect.
Dang, lying
So,
on my boy.
the question is, how can Jones be innocent if everyone saw him do it? Well, pay close attention, because there's more to this mystery than first meets the eye.
Nearly 20 years ago, Jones was charged with aggravated robbery in Kansas City, Kansas, after being accused of trying to steal a purse in a parking lot. Jones had provided an alibi, and no physical evidence ever linked him to the crime. The victim told police the suspect was thin to medium build, tan with dark hair pulled back, and out of a photo lineup of 6 mugshots, Jones was identified. That eyewitness testimony landed him behind bars.
No DNA, no physical evidence, and a solid alibi were all overpowered by the victim selecting Richard out of a lineup. It was described as picture perfect. Did you catch it? Would you believe me if I told you you've seen 2 different people?
Yeah.
Believe it.
We are back with a case of mistaken identity that forced a man to spend 17 years behind bars.
And the discovery casting doubt on his guilty verdict.
I believe it was a striking resemblance. It just blew me away. Couldn't let someone else's mistake make me waver in my faith and never make me shy away from what was real and what the truth was, and that was I was innocent, and I knew it.
After 15 years of time served, Jones contacted the Midwest Innocence Project. The Innocence Project helped him find that man, and when they did, people's minds were blown.
During that visit, Mr. Jones actually said to the students, "I keep getting mistaken for this guy named Ricky Amos."
The victim was brought back in to point out the suspect, but with Jones and Amos standing next to each other.
Jones and Amos had never met until a hearing last Wednesday when witnesses admitted they couldn't tell the two apart, and the judge ordered Jones released.
Judge recognized that an injustice had been done. Everyone did. The victim did. The original prosecutor did. And came to testify that Richard Jones didn't commit this crime.
They say everybody has a twin, right? To see these 2 men, it's like looking in a mirror, except they never met, though they were both housed in the same prison.
Insane. What are the chances of finding your real-life doppelganger? He has the same legal name as you, and out of all places, he ended up being housed in the same prison as you. Unbelievable.
So you telling me you could be in the same prison, but they still mix y'all up, but they had the same name, so.
It's unbelievable. I didn't see myself being here. It's been 17 years. You know, something I didn't do, but I'm thankful. I'm blessed.
I'm definitely built for the challenge, you know, just living my life, starting over and just doing it right this time.
Can't even imagine it. Spending more than 4 decades in prison as an innocent person convicted of a triple homicide. But for one Missouri...
Imagine thinking you lived your life wrong because you just was living life and you ain't do nothing. That's crazy. 17 years is crazy. That's older than kids.
Man, that has been his reality.
When he entered prison, he could walk. He now relies on a wheelchair.
Had absolutely nothing to do with these murders.
Monday, a judge in Florida posthumously exonerated 4 black men known as the Groveland Four.
Still in disbelief.
This is the moment that he thought might never come for the man at the center of one of the longest wrongful conviction cases in U.S. history. 43 years.
43 years.
43 years.
Kevin Strickland has waited 43 years for this day.
So I'm not angry. I'm disgusted.
Dreams broken and moments.
Boy, first 17, now 43. This shit getting worse. Like, they just making, this is getting just more and more bad. Like, what's going on? Sitting up 43 years for something I didn't do.
Moments stolen. Prosecutors turned defenders. Corruption seeping from the highest level. This next case doesn't only break historical records, but will break your hearts as well. Kevin Strickland, now 63, was incarcerated in 1979. At 22 years of age, the state of Missouri charged him with first and second degree murder in a brutal triple homicide. Kevin pleaded his innocence from the beginning, but with an all-white jury, not even 2 direct statements clearing his name was enough.
Strickland even remained in prison while 2 of the 4 actual shooters, Vincent Bell and COOLMAnxTV, admitted under oath Strickland had nothing to do with the murders.
The manipulation in this case is evident from the very beginning. Many times over the 43 years, Kevin Strickland was denied retrial, which seems like a common pattern in these cases, but this is where the unheard of came into play.
No, I didn't think this day was going to come. I mean, not before I got this legal team, I didn't.
Jackson County Prosecutor Gene Peters Baker led the team who worked to free Strickland alongside the Midwest Innocence Project.
In 2015, an email was received by the prosecution.
The most important piece of evidence was a recantation of a witness. She has since died, but she really did a good job documenting her recantation, so we believe it to be a very credible recantation.
It changed her view on the entire case.
Let's just call it what it is. This is wrong. And everyone that works in this system must find a way to do the right thing now. The right thing is getting Mr. Strickland out.
Even with all the evidence, her first attempts to free Strickland failed. I guess it's not easy when you're fighting against the same people who helped you put him there in the first place.
Incredibly difficult this process is. Even when the prosecutor is on your side, it took months and months for Mr. Strickland to come home. And he's still going to come home to a system that will not provide him any compensation for the 43 years that he's lost. That's not justice.
They did eventually get there, obviously. And with freedom at his fingertips, he just wanted to do one thing.
Well, I mean, I hate people to hear a 62-year-old man say this, but I'm a mama's boy, and I got to go see mama. I got to go hold mama's hand, yeah.
But Attorney General Eric Schmidt had his way of slowing it down, causing that one last wish to be taken away. His mother died 2 months later.
Procedural hurdles caused his case to be delayed and later dismissed. His mother passed away on August 21st.
That's tragic.
We can't bring back Mom, but the people
mama.
of Missouri and abroad decided that they can help in another way.
Let you out.
He's been out of prison for more than a week. The GoFundMe has raised more than $1.7 million.
1.7 million? It doesn't equal 43 years, but I do think that will help keep him out of a cardboard box. And maybe a little more.
You know, I've never been on a beach, not even a man-made beach. And I want to go out far in the ocean where you can't see any land, any direction. And not just go out there, but get in that water. I want to feel the power, of God's creation. I want to feel that water.
Stunning development in a murder case.
That's crazy, bro. Damn, I hope I don't look like not a soul on this motherfucking planet. Because if that motherfucker do something crazy, I go to jail for it.
Case NBC News has been following for nearly 3 years.
On our way to see an inmate by the name of Richard Rosario.
Rosario was convicted of the 1996 murder of teenager George Colanzo in the Bronx. His story has never changed.
Did you shoot him?
No.
Why are you here?
Sometimes I'll hear about a case that sounds so outrageous. It makes me wonder, what if it's true?
One of two things was true. Either Richard was innocent or I had a law enforcement officer lying to me.
I'm never gonna lose hope. They have to take me out of here in a box. I'll never lose hope, no matter how long I'm here.
June 19th, 1996, in the Bronx, New York, 17-year-old George Colanzo was gunned down in cold blood. 2 weeks after the murder, his friend and a food cart owner who witnessed the crime were asked to look through a lineup of photos. The man they both picked out, 20-year-old Richard Rosario, who was in Florida State at the time of the murder. Unbeknown to Rosario, he was now a wanted man. He gets a call from his family explaining being wanted by the NYPD.
As soon as my mother told me and I spoke to my sister, I spoke to my wife and I found this out, I just came back.
But not back to what he expected. Within hours, he was handcuffed, arrested, and considered the sole suspect in the murder of Colanzo.
He did turn himself in that night, and he did give a statement to police where he names 13 people who he said could confirm that he was in Florida, and he also gave them a copy of a bus ticket showing that he had taken a Greyhound bus from Florida.
So if detectives were given names, addresses, phone numbers of the people who could place Rosario in Florida on the day of the murder, then how did the jury find him guilty 2 years later? Well, if you're not a fan of corruption or injustice, you might want to look away.
So you telling me son presented to you hard evidence, which is the receipt, and other evidence, which is the word of mouth, after he turned himself in for a crime that you guys say that he committed while he was across the states in one of the craziest places in the 50 states.
The newly joined Exoneration Initiative managed to get Darcel Clark, the new district attorney, to re-examine the case. What they found was downright dirty.
Well, yeah, after I spoke with the alibi witnesses, they all told me that no one from the NYPD or the DA's office or anybody ever called them. He gave a statement to the police and gave them names and addresses and phone numbers, including yours. Did anybody ever call you?
Not a single phone call. No one from NYPD called me just to confirm if what he was saying was true.
We've thoroughly interviewed a number of witnesses, his alibi witnesses. We interviewed our witnesses, just every single angle we looked into. I don't feel now that I would be able to prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. And that is the burden of proof that I must satisfy.
But what she didn't mention was, one, the detectives withheld the fact that George's friend could not pick Rosario out of the lineup, and two, the food truck witness didn't even see the gunman in the first place.
As his family looks on, Rosario is led into the courtroom, shackled.
We can see that the defendant did not receive effective assistance of counsel. We consent to the release of the defendant on his own recognizance.
The jury is still out on the DA's office with regards to this wrongful conviction, and I hope that she would do the right thing to exonerate me, because I've been in prison for 20 years for a crime I didn't commit. My family didn't deserve this, I didn't deserve this, nor the victim's family or the victim. And I hope this this conviction is not just vacated, but exoneration is given to me.
Now there's one more moment you need to see,
Hey,
but this one comes with an interesting request.
Rosario did the unthinkable. He asked for the murder case against him to remain open until his name is clear.
The public should know the truth. The families of the victims should have that clarity and that peace of mind that, a murder is not in the street and that their son received the justice that he deserved.
If I had to spend every day of my life in prison to prove my innocence, I would have been prepared to do that. I'm innocent, and I'm gonna always be innocent no matter what the justice system does.
Smith was a bus driver for the Lorain County Head Start program.
She took the kids to daycare and drove them home. Everything was fine
And
until
even
a
if you
call
are
from her
innocent,
boss.
sometimes
It was May
you
7th,
still guilty,
1993 in Lorain County, Ohio, when Nancy Smith was going about her daily duties as a bus driver. Little did she know, her day was about to enter a head-on collision with a level of injustice which left her in pieces. The catalyst of this collision, another typical Karen.
That is when they told me that a mother on Friday had made allegations against me saying that I did not take her daughter to school and that I had molested her daughter.
Oof.
Did you know that you could be throwing away money by not doing this one simple thing? I get the cheapest prices on everything I buy online, and I'm about to show you how to do it.
And I was like, what are you talking about? And then
Nasty allegation.
The mother claimed that the kid was taken to Joseph Allen's house, who was also described as Nancy's boyfriend.
I've never met him. I've never talked to him. I've never even seen him.
Then came the trial.
First of all, you read the trial transcripts and the police records, and the children are changing their story.
I mean, when you're innocent, you don't think that, that people are going to believe these lies. You just think, you just trust your justice system.
Nancy and Joseph were then sentenced 15 to 90 years for child sex abuse.
I was thinking, who's going to take care of my children?
So, if Nancy claims she had never met Joseph before, then something here isn't adding up. Someone isn't telling the truth. Well, remember that Karen we mentioned, the mother of the little girl? Meet Margaret Grodin.
How was school today? And she goes, well, we didn't go to school today. We went to over Joseph's house to play games, and then I knew something was wrong right away.
That was Margaret getting interviewed by local news stations. But she didn't stop there. Margaret also called upon all the neighbouring parents and threatened Nancy with jail time. She also went as far as going to the mayor of the city, pleading for Nancy's arrest. The motivation here? Financial. And to solidify her investment, she stooped even lower.
I've actually never seen anything like that in my entire life, where the parents and the officers are telling them who to pick.
We can see the parents and police officers pointing specifically at Joseph in the lineup, indicating to and leading the child witness with their selection. Your stomach will drop as we reveal there's no line these people weren't willing to cross.
It's sort of sick to say, but people, it appears, were making these allegations for monetary gain.
The bus company was sued and the parents received millions of dollars. So, case closed, right? Another unjust conviction that ruins an innocent woman's life? Not quite.
But I'll tell you one thing, I never gave up on hope. Never.
In 2009, she appeared before Lorain.
They put Auntie behind bars. Nah, Auntie. Auntie looked like she make the nastiest potato salad on the block. Damn, Auntie.
County Common Pleas Judge James Burge.
It was a judge with fair morals and, believe it or not, a technicality issue.
Because the original paper convicting her wasn't filled out properly.
So this was really just a technicality.
Judge Burge did something unexpected.
He overturned the conviction. Earlier this year, Nancy's dreams of clemency came true.
Judge Burge said, "Stay free." Nancy Smith broke down after court.
Horrible. It's the worst feeling that you could ever have. To think that people would think that of you. Until you've been in my shoes, nobody can understand the pain that this has caused me and my family.
The raw emotions are clear to see, and who can blame them?
And to Miss Smith and to Mr. Allen, I want to say that I apologize to you, especially for what was done to you and to your families as a result of this ill-conceived prosecution.
It'll always be with you. It'll never go away. I might be home and I might be free, but am I really free?
Absolutely not. You'll never be. We live in civilization. But curiosity peaked, and apparently you could go to jail for anything. Quite literally anything. If somebody makes up a story and it's believable enough, guess what? You're going to jail. If somebody says, you look like this person, you're going to jail. if somebody, what did the cops do? If somebody did whatever them cops did to that brother, you're going to jail. So the best way to stay out of jail is to just avoid cops probably at all purpose. For all purpose, just try to avoid them. Or you might go to jail. That is just the reality of it. And on that note, I'm out of here.